Imagine this. You're strolling through the crowded streets of ancient Pompeii, the air thick with the scent of sizzling chickpeas and garum sauce. A vendor calls out, ladling hot stew into your hands for a quick bite on the go. But street food isn't a modern invention. It's as old as civilization itself, fueling empires from Mesopotamia to Rome. Stick around, because in the next 10 minutes, we're diving into the mouth-watering world of ancient street food cultures that shaped how we eat today. Welcome to a flavorful journey back in time. Street food has always been more than just a snack. It's a lifeline for bustling cities, a social glue, and a testament to human ingenuity. In ancient times, with no refrigerators or microwaves, vendors turned simple ingredients into portable feasts that kept workers, travelers, and even emperors going. We'll explore how these cultures, from the cradle of civilization in Mesopotamia to the exotic markets of China, created vibrant street scenes that echo in our food trucks and carts today. Let's start at the beginning. Our story kicks off in ancient Mesopotamia around 4,000 years ago, in the fertile lands between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Picture cities like Ur and Babylon, teeming with merchants, laborers, and priests. Most people lived in cramped mud brick homes without fancy kitchens, so street vendors were the original fast food heroes. They'd set up stalls in bustling marketplaces, hawking barley-based staples that were cheap, filling, and ready to eat. Barley was king here, ground into paste or baked into flatbreads that you'd grab with a handful of onions or beans. Wash it down with barley ale, a thick, fermented brew that was safer than river water and packed a nutritional punch. Vendors roasted meats on skewers, simmering stews with garlic, leeks, and spices like cumin. Archaeological digs reveal remnants of these meals, and even the Code of Hammurabi, that famous Babylonian law code from 1750 BCE, regulated vendors to ensure fair prices and quality. No skimping on portions back then, or you'd face the king's wrath. Sweet treats? Absolutely. Pastry chefs crafted kulupu, date-filled cookies, and mursu, a candy of dates and pistachios, perfect for a quick energy boost. Street food wasn't just sustenance, it was social. Laborers on ziggurat construction sites would huddle around vendors during breaks, sharing stories over steaming bowls. This culture laid the groundwork for urban eating, proving that even in the Bronze Age, convenience was key. Now let's hop over to ancient Egypt, where the Nile's bounty fed one of history's most enduring civilizations. From around 3000 BCE, Egyptians mastered agriculture. But city life in places like Thebes or Memphis meant many relied on street eats. Bread and beer were the dynamic duo. Flatbreads made from emmer wheat or barley, often flavored with dates or honey, and beer so thick you could almost chew it. Vendors roamed markets or set up near temples, selling lamb kebabs grilled over open flames, rice dishes, and fritters fried in oil. Imagine biting into a precursor to modern falafel, tameya, mashed fava beans mixed with herbs, shaped into patties and crisped up on the spot. Fuel madams, a hearty stew of fava beans with garlic and olive oil, was a go-to for the working class, affordable, protein-rich, and portable. Wealthier folks might send servants for these treats, but pharaohs themselves indulged in street-style feasts during festivals. Cultural significance? Huge. Food was tied to the gods. Offerings at temples often trickled down to public vendors. Bas-reliefs on tomb walls show bustling scenes of cooks preparing skewers and breads. And during the inundation season, when floods made farming impossible, street food kept communities alive. It was democratic dining. From slaves to scribes, everyone gathered around these portable feasts, fostering a sense of unity in a hierarchical society. Crossing the Mediterranean to ancient Greece, street food gets a bit more refined, or at least more debated. By the 5th century BCE in Athens, philosophers like Plato might have turned up their noses at it, but the masses couldn't get enough. Small fried fish were the star. Vendors along the agora would dredge fresh catches in flour, fry them in olive oil, and serve them hot with a sprinkle of salt and herbs. Simple, zesty, and ideal for a quick lunch between debates or Olympic training. But go back further to Minoan Crete, around 1600 BCE, and we find evidence of the world's oldest fast food stalls. Excavations on the island of Thera, buried by a volcanic eruption, uncovered a portable oven and cooking tools in what seems like a street-side eatery. They likely served grilled meats on skewers, akin to today's souvlaki, chunks of pork or lamb marinated in wine and herbs, charred over coals. Add olives, figs, and barley cakes, and you've got a balanced, on-the-go meal. Greek street food reflected the city's democratic spirit, affordable for sailors, farmers, and citizens alike. During festivals like the Panathenaea, vendors multiplied, turning streets into pop-up parties. It wasn't just fuel, it was flavor that inspired epic poems and plays. Homer's Odyssey even nods to roasted meats and breads shared among wanderers, hinting at how these humble eats sustained heroes. No ancient street food tour is complete without Rome, the empire that perfected the grab-and-go lifestyle. By the 1st century CE, Rome's 1 million residents crammed into tenement blocks called insulae, where fires were forbidden to prevent disasters. Enter the Thermopolia. These were street-side counters embedded in buildings, with terracotta jars sunk into the surface holding hot soups, stews, and mulled wine. Picture this. A busy Roman grabs a bowl of lentil stew thickened with chickpeas, topped with cheese and olives. Or salted fish doused in garum, that funky fermented sauce that was Rome's ketchup. Bread was everywhere. Fresh loaves stuffed with meats or drizzled with honey. Excavations in Pompeii, preserved by Vesuvius in 79 CE, reveal over 200 thermopolia, complete with frescoes of menu items like snails and pork. One recent dig even found duck bones and beans still in jars. Thermopolia were social hubs. Gladiators post-training, senators sneaking bites, everyone mingling over affordable eats. They even had drive-through vibes for chariots pulling up. This culture spread across the empire, influencing conquered lands. As Rome fell, these vendors faded, but their legacy lives in Italy's modern street pizzas and panini. Shifting east to ancient China, street food explodes with variety during the Zhou dynasty around 1000 BCE. In bustling cities like Chang'an, marketplaces buzzed with vendors catering to silk traders and scholars. Noodles, discovered in a 4,000-year-old bowl, were pulled fresh and boiled in broth, topped with greens or pork. By the Tang dynasty in the 7th century CE, night markets lit by lanterns offered dumplings stuffed with minced meat and veggies, steamed to perfection. Roasted skewers of lamb or chicken, marinated in soy and spices, sizzled on grills. Pancakes rolled with scallions and sauces were precursors to today's jianbing. Even emperors disguised themselves to sample these delights, as street food bridged classes. Poor ate it daily, rich sent servants. Cultural impact? Immense. Street eats fueled the Silk Road, spreading flavors to Asia. Festivals turned streets into feasts, with baozi buns and sweet rice cakes symbolizing prosperity. It was innovative too. Quick wok frying preserved nutrients in a fast-paced world. Finally, let's touch on ancient India, where the Arthashastra treatise from the 4th century BCE regulated vendors selling cooked rice, rice cakes, and spiced meats. In Vedic times, streets in cities like Taxila hummed with chaat-like snacks, tangy mixes of chickpeas, yogurt, and tamarind. Vada, fried lentil donuts, trace back to 100 BCE. Kings visited kebab stalls, grilling marinated meats over coals. During epics like the Ramayana, travelers sustained on portable breads and curries. Street food embodied dharma, fair, accessible nourishment fostering community in diverse castes. Wrapping up, ancient street food wasn't just survival, it was innovation, community, and flavor explosion. From Mesopotamian barley ales to Roman thermopolia, these cultures turned necessity into art, influencing everything from tacos in Aztec markets to our global food scene today. Next time you grab a taco or falafel, remember, you're tasting history. Thanks for joining this tasty trip. What's your favorite modern street food with ancient roots? Let me know in the comments.